Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports YouTube channel. I am your host, Ryan, and on today's clip, we are going to continue our NBA exit interview series, and today we're going to talk about the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors finished 30 and 52. They were like the fifth worst team in the league, the seventh worst team in the league. They were rough. So disappointing for me, but I wanted to get your thoughts, Clint. What was your grade for the Raptors?
I went with a D plus.
Okay.
I know they had some injuries, some moves I didn't like. But with the guys that they had, like I felt like there's a lack of growth. They should probably be a team, only 30 wins in the East. Doesn't seem that's why I was a little disappointed. I think I picked them to be a lottery team anyhow, but 30 wins, and I know to a degree they kind of tanked, but not really because they won 3 or 4 of those games at the end of the year that they could have improved their pick. But I think overall that's a disappointing for the young players they have.
Yeah, that's I'm uh with you. I gave them a C minus. It was probably my first rough grade. I thought they'd be I'm with you. I had them as a lottery team, but I thought they'd be more like close to the play-in just because of like Scotty Barnes, and you had Ingram on the roster at the beginning of the season, quickly Barrett, uh what's his name? The center there. Jacob.
So
Yeah. So I just think like for the Raptors to only win 30 games was very disappointing. I the only pro I had was like Grady Dick at times looked like someone, so you can have like a role player, maybe a starter. I think it's only his second or third year, so there was some positive there. But the cons is like Barnes shooting numbers went down. That's not something you want to see, going into your third, fourth year. And to me, like there's no clear path for them after this season because you just don't know. Like you said, there what you were hoping to kind of see some things to come into focus a little bit more. But the problem that they have is they have Ingram and Barnes are paying 38 million to. Ingram only played 18 games. You got quickly under 32 million that he only played 33 games, and then RJ Barrett is on 27 million. So they're paying all these young players, but to me it's not like clear, or there's no clear focus on what they should do moving forward because of the injuries, but also there wasn't a improvement in some of these young players you were kind of hoping to see.
it seems a little scattershot for the Raptors. Like on a whole, if you go down and you just covered all the rest of them, and you said, "Oh, they have Ingram, not bad. Oh, I kind of like quickly. RJ Barrett, oh, he has a role. Scotty Barnes, oh, okay." But then you put them all together, you add their contracts in, and I don't know what you have. And I know injuries played a big part in their season, but I don't particularly like the mix of the guys they have. We can get into that especially when it comes to shooting. So it's just again, scattershot is the word I like to use. It just seems like we're just grabbing pieces, expensive pieces, and we have a starting lineup that makes a lot of money and not much else.
Yeah, I think a lot of number threes. Like they have a lot of number threes. Like if you're going to build a roster and that's your third best guy, your fourth best guy, you're good with that. But I don't know if they have like a one or two yet, like on their team. And that's part of the problem. But you're paying them all like they're number two, number one guys, and that's not a place you want to be if you're any teams, and including the Raptors.
Yeah, I think again, Scotty Barnes shows some stuff, but again, at 38, 41, and 44, the next 3 years, I don't know if he's shown that much.
Yeah, the shooting up. I really liked him after his first year, but it's like it's kind of regressed. Let's go to their off-season outlook. So they have the seventh and the 39th pick this coming up year. I think that's right. Let me look. I wrote no. They ended up with the ninth. That's right. They dropped. This is before the odds were picked. So they have the ninth pick actually this year. So they dropped in the draft, which is unfortunate. They have no big key free agents, and so what this has here is that including the first round pick, they're actually over the first apron already with their roster. So what do you do if you're the Raptors? What do you do going forward?
See, I put down, do you just fill out your bench and are you good then? Like if you can bring in a couple low cost shooters, does that round out the team? Um, I think they need an upgrade at center. Moving on from Portal, especially on a team that doesn't have a lot of shooting. Um, but just I think with the guys they have, I would move on from Portal and RJ Barrett. Try to see what you can get for some of those because I just don't think the mix that they have has enough spread out shooting. Like a lot of these are, with the exception of Quickly, he's a pretty good 3-point shooter. And RJ Barrett comes and goes. Pirtle's not a shooter at all. Like
Right.
it's really just poor version of the Suns when we talked about the Suns with Booker and
Beal.
Beal.
Beal,
It's like
yeah.
okay, we got a lot of mid range shooters, but the center doesn't space out, so they're in quite a conundrum. Like I don't know what this team does to be next level good.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to take one or two of these contracts and hopefully like there's a team out there that like likes those players and can you trade them for expirings almost so you can kind of reset your roster. Because that's the only thing I see because like I agree with you. I think there's too much duplication in the players like RJ Barrett, Ingram and Barnes. And could you like for instance like Brooklyn's one of those teams you think of like they kind of lost out on getting a higher draft pick. I think they dropped all the way to 6. Would they be looking for like okay well we got to bring someone in, let's try Brandon Ingram and we will give you a couple expiring contracts, something like that. I just think they need to do something in the offseason to provide cap relief, but also to make this roster look more like an NBA roster instead of like a fantasy roster.
Yeah, and I'm sure injuries. Again, Ingram missed pretty much ever since they traded for him, which had to be one heck of an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
That he sat out the whole from the end of December through the rest of the year. Um, so you kind of have uncertainty with what you actually have in this mix. Just on paper, it doesn't seem like a mix that I would be overly interested in.
Yeah, correct. Okay, long shot for them. What would be your long shot for
So
the
for this team,
Raptors?
when I thought of it, was I put Anthony Simons on the
Hmm.
Raptors as a long shot. Could you take RJ Barrett? Their contracts are pretty close to identical. Could you, with the Blazers, take RJ? Hopefully, they're moving on from. I just looked up his name in it now. Their small forward, not Advia. Jeremy Grant. Would they
Grant,
move on
yeah.
from Jeremy Grant? Slide in RJ Barrett as one of their small forwards, and as you talked about, they have Shaden Sharp, they have Scoot Henderson, they have some guards. Could you slot in Anthony Simons on here to get yourself another ball handler with some shooting to help out quickly and kind of help everyone fit into a more defined role?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. I just yeah, I had like a long shot as far as more picks, get rid of some of these contracts, could they take on a bad contract um to get more assets if somebody really likes Barrett or Ingram. I did put maybe Aiton, right? Like if you want to take a center, so we both thought about the Blazers, but like I mean, Aiton's young still. He's only 25, 26, right? He's not that old. Could you talk yourself into getting a guy like that because you need a center and trading one of these contracts to get Aiton and then, seeing what you got there? That was kind of like my long shot because I couldn't really. I don't know. It's just hard because they're already above the first apron, so they gotta They got a little bit of a mess in my opinion.
Yeah, I low key put them down as like maybe an outside shot as the Kevin Durant team, but it's hard for the Raptors to get to that. What is it, 50, 55 million or
Mhm.
whatever? You gotta again carve out two or three pretty good players to bring in Kevin Durant. And I don't know, he's kind of duplicitous with Ingram and Barnes. Like they all kind of play that same position. It's hard to downsize or upsize one of them. You probably don't want Ingram playing your two guard, chasing two guards around. So I don't think KD would. I mean, granted, he'd probably love to come to the East
Yes, yeah,
again,
yeah.
but I thought of him, but I don't know how the Raptors would make that work while keeping, a championship competitor team.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Okay, man, anything else on the Raptors?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, so that's all we got for you guys as far as the Toronto Raptors go. Again, let us know in the comments down below how you felt about their season this past year, what you want them to do this off season. Maybe a long shot pick of somebody to bring in for the Raptors. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.